had one escapee. At least it started after we changed the filters, fuel filters. Morning. Welcome back to Mach-Arry Farms. You know, there's some old wives' tales that hold water over time. Don't eat yellow snow. If it's foggy on Good Friday, it's going to rain for 7 Sundays afterwards. Well, I got 2 more to add to that. Rain besets rain, and beans are made in August. Earlier this summer, I was telling you about how dry we were. Well, we finally broke the heat dome and the lack of moisture dome. I gotta put my glasses on, something's coming out. For the last week, we have had a shot of rain almost every day. In fact, 2 days ago, we got 1.5 inches. Pastures are coming back, alfalfa's coming back, everything's looking really good. So with that being said, especially the pastures coming back, we're gonna take the cows off the dry lot, haul them out to pasture. That's what we're working on now. Got to get the calves locked up, cows run across, cows loaded up, but it's muddy. This could get interesting. Tex is rounding up the calves. Cows are all being good. This only works if we bring them all at once. Yes, sir. Shh. Hold on. That it? Yeah. Come, boss. Yeah. Shh. Shh. We're gonna get zapped. Shh. Just leave it. Shh. Shh. Hey. Come on, calves. Hey. Hey. Come on. Honestly, that went pretty well. Cows and calves, and the one bull that we're moving, Chris, he's gonna go out to the pasture west of us here. Gonna get him off this dry lot. If you remember, we put a lot of effort into that this year. Put the tarp up, got the fan over there. Power cord obviously strung along. And we're feeding them hay. They're mowing through quite a little bit of hay. Now with all the rain that we've had, the pastures, like I said, are coming back, so could stop feeding hay for a little bit, save some for this winter. We have had cows out here on the pasture at home for 4 days. We opened the fence up 4 days ago to let the grass come back, and it really did. It's amazing what a little bit of rain does for grass. It ain't very good for making hay. Probably going to miss out on the cutting this year. In fact, I know we're going to miss out on the cutting this year. Totally missed the third cutting because it was so dry, but at least the fourth one, really a third, should come back pretty decent for us. Everybody's wondering what's up. Those girls haven't seen grass since March. I bet they're happy. Got the cows all dropped off. Heck, even the bulls weren't fighting. They're getting along just fine. Up here with the 7140 combine, I was doing some looking in my notes. Last year we started harvest a month and 3 days from today. It's not going to be that early of a harvest this year. Today's what, the 15th? Yep. Today's the 15th of August. I had to ask my calendar over there. I'm changing the oil in the combine. On our old one, 7088, it used to be this drain tube here would be the oil, but on the 7140, that is the hydraulic one. Pretty easy to see. Those are the two hydraulic filters there. There's a spigot for it, or petcock valve. The books didn't tell us nothing about where the oil drain was at. We actually read the book. You read the book, right?
Online.
And I looked online too, and ChatGPT did not help me there. So AI does not know everything. We followed the pan, which is back up inside here. The oil pan for the engine comes down to this tube here. It's just a turn valve. It lets the oil out. Works really, really slick on combines. I wish most of the tractors that we have had a system like that, but that's all right. We're gonna let this oil drain out. It's gonna take more than 5 gallons. That's why we got 2 buckets sitting here. We'll shut the oil off, put the new bucket underneath of it, and continue the process. But we're a little over a month yet away from harvest, so just doing preventative maintenance. All right. Well, at least it started after we changed the filters, fuel filters. There's 2 of them on this combine. This one here, of course, has a sensor going to it because you have to have a sensor to everything. The fuel filter up by the motor where Andrew's at, and obviously the oil filter as well. I'll check the oil again after we got it warmed up. Morning. That noise you hear in the background, that's the T800. We had to jump start it like we always do after it's been sitting for about 8 months. Not sure where the draw is at, but it's got a little bit of a battery draw. Put the battery pack on it. Andrew's putting that away. She only had to be on there for 15-20 minutes and it's fired right off. Probably should be started more often than what we do, but that's all right. The old International though, she starts every time, no problem. Not sure what it is about 98 International, but she always starts. got that one started yesterday. This one can work. I'll let it warm up, build enough air to pop off the air compressor a couple of times, get the moisture out of the lines. That's the reason why we're starting now, 2 months before we'll use it. I need to change oil in this truck this year. I got the filters ordered. They should be here sometime this week. Today's tractor tip is not really a tractor tip, a tire tip. If you remember a couple weeks ago, we had problems with this tire on the rake right before I was supposed to go out and rake a custom job. The tire was flat and it had the hole in the sidewall. I ended up plugging that twice right there in the sidewall. Obviously, you can still see the plug still in there. It is still holding air almost a month later. So whoever tells you that you can't fix a blowout on a sidewall on a tire, you can if you plug it. It took more than one plug times, but it worked. Still works. Still got a new tire upstairs that we haven't put on there yet, because why fix what isn't broken? So we're up at one of our pastures that we keep the cows at here west of our house. We protect our fencers. This one's a custom made box. Protect our fencers with mineral tubs on the other side. That mineral tub left the chat, so we're gonna put a new one up. Well, Andrew is, because it's all wet underneath there. I don't want to.
Well, I can't do it with one hand.
Maybe I could do it with one hand. We'll go a little lower than what we were before. How's that?
Good.
Thankfully, we got a big supply of mineral tubs that we can use to replace it with. Uh-oh, bro.
It's in there.
Yeah, you got it. I don't know if it's gonna come out. It's in there. This is the pasture we took the cows off of a couple weeks ago because their grass was dead. You can tell with all that rain is doing to this grass here, it's coming back really, really, really nicely. Thankfully surprised by that. Saved quite a little bit on hay than that way. He's just about done. We'll get this wrapped up and go on to the next project. Pigs are not only happy I gave them garden fresh veggies, but they got one heck of a slop hole here. All that rain and one heck of a hog wallow. But you're happy for that, aren't you? Going to make the hog house extra fun to clean out when that time comes. cows that we had here in our dry lot. Those are the ones that we hauled out yesterday to grass. Man injured. Took the gate that was down across the last stall there to feed the calves some grain. No more of that. Took the fan down that was down in there. Tarp, if you remember a couple weeks back, that just tore all the crap, so ripped that down, saved what we could. Cows are back out on grass here at home. They're happy too. We'll clean this up when it dries out a little bit. There's no point in getting it all mudded up to get the hay feeders out of there. Tank lives there because when we take the corn out here to the south, we'll open this back up here for the dry lot for the cows when they start calving again back in the spring. But I would say for the first year, the dry lot served its purpose. Save some grass so later on in the year here we could take the pairs that we had here back out to grass. It would have been a little bit drier here. We probably would have fed a little bit more. But no sense in keeping them locked up in here and force feeding them hay. Just the 5 pairs that we had in here. We got 2 bale feeders obviously. They're mowing down 3 bales a week, and that's just way too much hay to be feeding 5 pairs in a bowl. That's why we took them out. These are the alfalfa patches that brother cut 2 weeks ago. This little bit here, this one here, behind the house and behind the shed, and that little bit right there. Didn't get very much for a third cutting off of it. There is 12 acres here in this patch, and we got 3 whopping bales off of it. We're in a drought. It is what it is. Just thankful that we're able to cut it, so that way hopefully this 4th cutting will be significantly better than the 3rd cutting. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but look at all these grasshoppers flying here. There's one sure sign of drought when you got this many grasshoppers. Wanted to walk out here in the bean field a little bit. A little muddier than I thought it was going to be. This right here is not double crop beans. This row right here, that was the beans that I drilled this spring. Same thing right here. And these are the road beans that brother stuck in here because he thought this drilled beans weren't worth the crap. Well, they're really not. They came up, produced something, shaded out, but it ain't great. Beans though, do look good. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 27 pods. You can barely feel the little beans in some of them. They are definitely behind versus a year ago. With all this rain that we've been having, it's the absolute perfect time for these beans. They're still obviously growing inside the pod. This one's still flowering, so it still might throw a pod. Today's the 16th of August. We got a long ways to go before harvest. It's not the most pods I've ever seen on a plant. Obviously it's still growing, so it ain't done. Pretty average. I'll take average this year. Looking at the corn here at home, this patch was replanted 3 times. Yep, 3, because it washed so bad every single time. Prior to third after third, we just said that's it and we're gonna walk away. So the stand's not the best or the most even. I'll show you guys what poor pollination does. Here's a corn plant here. And here's the ear that it gave us. That ain't gonna make nothing. There's nothing there. Still ain't pollinated all the way because of the uneven stand. This plant here is done. It's up by the brown hairs on it. That is a very, very average ear there. It is filled out all the way. It's not very big. At least it's filled out to the tip. Just an average ear. If you've been doing this as long as me, and all you farmers out there, you know, you come out to your field, you put your hand around the ear, you can tell if it's an average ear, above average ear, or a below average ear for that matter. A lot of average ears in here. But at least there's something. Could be worse. Then I get here to the end row. I look at this one, I'm like, holy cow, that's an ear. Fingers don't even fit around it. Then I look, oh, shoot, there's a second ear. That one might do something. Move the leaf out of the way. There's a third ear there. All the same variety, same field, same fertilizer, same tillage program. That one's got really 1.5 ears. That one ain't gonna do nothing. But all in the same field. Same thing here. Got 3 of them trying. That's about the only one that's gonna make anything. Crazy. If you made it this far, we'd sure appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe button. It doesn't cost you nothing. It's right down there, right on the right hand side. And it sure help out this 5th generation farm from East Central Nebraska. Cheers.